Yo, it's your bro Elliott Hulse here, back with a brand new vlog and Q&A from you dudes, and I got one here from Reptilian Gnome. He goes on to say, yo E, I'm 6'4", been struggling to grow wider arms. I imagine you mean thicker arms, right? What is the most efficient way to gain mass in the arms? So I'm gonna use today as an opportunity to introduce you to one of my favorite arm training protocols, which is found in Charles Poliquin's book, Poliquin Principles, right? It's an old book, it might be out of print, but if you check out Charles Poliquin Principles, and he's got a whole chapter on arms training, when I followed that routine, my arms grew faster than ever before. Now, what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna slightly modify my routine, so to show you some of the principles that I'm attacking when I use this arms race program to grow thicker arms, bro. I hope that helps you. Stick around, the more you know. So today I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna go back to using my high heels with overhead pressing, and I think I'm gonna bring them back in with some of my other lifts too. I did that max effort deadlift the other day, and it felt good, but I know that I didn't use as much legs as I could. It was a lot of low back, a lot of posterior chain, not a big problem, but I know I can pull more crisply if I have an angle in the ankles and the knees. And so I'm gonna kind of go back and forth, but I wanna reintroduce this into my training, so I'm gonna do that today. Hey, and by the way, if you're sticking around, let the world know that you love Yo by hitting that like button down below, share, subscribe, do all the things that you do when you find a video that you like. See you on the inside. So I'm working up to a single again today here with the overhead press. I really don't even know what I can do, right? I did 225 for 6 the other day. Haven't really maxed out on the overhead press. I was doing log for a long time, but here I am back at the new phase. I'm gonna hit this for as heavy as I can. As it relates to training the arms, building the arms, one of the best ways to begin to build your arms is with compound movements, right? So a lot of times we think in terms of like, let me isolate the muscle that I want to train right away, the muscle that I want to get big, let me isolate it. That makes sense, and there's a place for that. I'm going to show you that in a moment. But you simply cannot add the weight to the joints that you would with a compound exercise, say with a single joint exercise, right? Let's say I'm just doing tricep press downs. That's great, that's good. That should be done, I will do it. But at the same time, because it's, what you want to do is hit a large spectrum of muscle fibers. You want to hit those fast twitch with some heavy weights, right? And so we're going to do that as well here today. So what muscle do you think overhead presses trains in the arms? What do you think? Bicep? Tricep? Which one do you think? Shoulders? I don't even know if overhead press builds my shoulders that much. In fact, I don't really train muscles that much. I train movements. That's not to say that training muscles is not a good idea. I'll probably go back to a phase of doing that maybe in the winter. But most of what I do are compound movements. It's movements that I'm training, not muscles per se. I'm gonna keep strict pressing until I can't strict press no more. Then I'm gonna push press, just give a little bit of a knee bend and pop. Get the heaviest weight I can over my head. So as the weight goes up, I'm just going to increase the amount of gear I'm putting on. Why not, right? It's all legal in the sport. Right? I can wear these, why not? You know, I learned the hard way because I used to be, not that I'm not anymore, but I've always been very prideful, right? And I remember when I first started competing in strongman, I saw the other guys wearing like wrist wraps and elbow wraps, and I was like, fuck that. I was like, those sissies gotta gear up, not me. And I did fairly well until I got edged out by somebody on a log press once, and he was wearing elbow wraps. And I said, you know what? I'm wearing them now. I'm not gonna lose to a guy because a little bit of rubber around his wrist. So then I started wearing it. So I'm still doing like a push press, but if I do a jerk, it's gonna be a little different. Let me see. Might as well try 315, right? Probably stay doing a push press, or maybe a jerk. I'll mess around with it a little bit. I gotta work more on my leg bend. So I used to jerk everything. That means press it and then get underneath. That's like a technique I should probably practice again too. So with this hybrid approach to building the arms, I did a heavy press, right? What does that work? Triceps, we know. And then I'm doing heavy rows right here. So with the axle again, I'm doing bent over rows. Rows also support bicep strength, right? Like you need the biceps to pull. So although they're not direct hits on the muscle, they will definitely stimulate growth. So I'm beginning with this. Then as you'll notice, I'm gonna progress to a moderate weight, higher reps, compound exercises, right down to high rep single joint. Follow me. So in this hybrid approach to building big badass arms, I'm now moving on to phase 2, where I'm using a moderate weight, higher reps, between like 8 and 12, shorter rest intervals, plus now I'm pairing them together like a superset. So as you know, we went from heavy station exercise now to moderate superset exercises. So to be completely transparent with you, arms have never been my forte. Legs, yes. Glutes, quads, all about it. Calves, but arms never so. And my history with injuries is proof in the pudding. Right? I've torn both biceps. And so after I tore my right bicep, which is repaired, just looks real bad, I took some time to study and learn what I should be doing for my arms. If you notice, like back in the day, I'd see like heavy cheek curls and shit, because for me, if it ain't heavy, you ain't training. That's just, you know, kind of my own mind fuck. But so I started looking into Charles Poliquin's process for building massive arms. And I suggest you check out Poliquin Principles too. But if you notice today, I was following one of the Poliquin Principles as it relates to building these arms up. Now, if you check out his routine, it's obviously going to be very different than I did today, but I'll give you the gist of the, you know, helicopter view of what I did. Of course, I started with the heavy work, low reps, compound, moderate work, bodybuilding type, 10 to 12 reps. Then I finished up with that feather work, that feather light work, doing about 25 reps with the cable, single joint, so that I'm hitting a broad spectrum of muscle fibers within the arms. Now, if you want to take it to the next degree, according to Paula Quinn, you got to change the tempo from each exercise, right? Like 4 seconds up, pause, 3 seconds down, stuff like that. You got to change the tempo and the angle. So all I changed was the intensity. But if you manipulate the tempo, like how fast you do the exercise, and you manipulate, for example, I'm doing curls like this, but he says you do curl like this, do curls like this, do curls like this, do curls like that. Just keep changing the angle. And that way you're hitting like every aspect, 350 degrees, 60 degrees of that muscle. So, dude, hope that helps. Obviously, go check out the resources. Stick around, watch OE do his thing while answering your questions. Send them in, send them my way. And I'll see you guys next time. Done.